Hey, here's part 2 of my 4-part series on the cost of living here as an English teacher in Vietnam and how much you can earn as an English teacher in Vietnam. In this video I'm going to be covering two things. I'm going to be covering transport and rent. If you haven't seen the video of my apartment yet, click here to watch that one. I'll still talk about my apartment in this video and the cost of renting an apartment, but that one might be a little bit more detailed. So when it comes to transport, there's many different options that you can go with. When I got here, I was really scared of using a scooter and driving a scooter around. So what you can actually do is get someone else to drive you on a scooter for you. So traditionally, guys just on the side of the road called Say-on drivers, which literally translates as a hug bike, would negotiate a fee with you based on where you wanted to go. However, it's much better now because there's an app called GrabBike, or just Grab. And this is what the app looks like. So it's just called Grab, and what you do is you put your pickup destination and your drop-off. So for example here, I just put two random addresses, and then you can select whether you want a car, a taxi, or a bike. And the prices will differ depending on the choice. So here a car is 88,000, taxi is 106,000, and a bike is 38,000. Now this is a pretty cost-effective way to get around if you're taking the bike option. However, after about 3 months of doing that, I actually decided to buy my own bike. So let's go check out my bike. So this is the beast. It's a 2001 Honda Wave. Now I'd recommend getting this bike because it's very cheap. It only cost me 200 US, and it's very, very cheap to fix. I've had it fixed a couple of times, and most of the time it costs under 100,000 dong, which is about $5. I've actually clocked up 3,000 kilometers on this one. Now I don't know if I should be saying this, but most people that drive here don't have a license to drive a motorbike or a scooter, myself included. And that's kind of the way things are. You can go the formal route, but I think it takes a while and no one really bothers. Most people will just pay off a police officer if they get caught. But if you drive properly, probably won't happen to you. It hasn't happened to me in my 6 months of driving here, so I think maybe I'm just very lucky. If you want to see me actually ordering a Grab bike, then click here. So the rules here for driving are pretty simple. Lots of people will say there are no rules, which there are some rules, so let me explain. Basically, the slow moving traffic goes in the far right of the lane and the faster moving traffic in the far left. The only other rule really is to watch what's in front of you and not hit anything in front of you. You're responsible for whatever you hit into, and the people behind you are responsible for not hitting into you. So kind of makes sense, and for the most part it works. That being said, I think the fatalities in Vietnam are quite high, but probably not in the city so much because people are driving a lot slower. I'm probably averaging about 20 to 30 kilometers for most driving, and that's when I'm not in traffic, so you get the idea. Whilst I recommend people get a similar bike to what I got, a Honda Wave or a Honda Dream is another semi-automatic without a clutch that is cheap to fix and you can find parts and stuff everywhere. But if you don't feel comfortable driving that, then a lot of people opt for the Yamaha Nuovo, or Nuovo, however you pronounce that one, N-O-U-V-O. And this is a very common automatic bike, so you'll probably get it for cheap and find lots of parts and get it serviced for quite cheap as well. Okay, so now moving on to rent. Now, as an English teacher here, I would recommend you to not spend more than say 300 to 400 US a month, because what you can get for that is really enough and is quite comfortable. You get an air-conditioned room, either in like a share house or like my place here is a studio apartment. You'll get, your shower, your fridge, everything that you basically need. And to be honest, I try to get out as much as I can while I'm in this city because going out here is quite cheap as well, and it's fun to go to new places. So that's kind of my take on it. You can opt for a more expensive apartment, but to me, it's not really worth the payoff. I'd rather spend that money on something like food. So there's a couple of groups on Facebook where you can check out places to rent, but my recommendation actually is to go to expat.com and check out the housing section on that website under the Vietnamese Ho Chi Minh City, or wherever maybe it could be Hanoi, where you're looking, and check out those ones, because a lot of the ones that are posted on there are actually not through an agent, whereas a lot of the ones I find on Facebook, there's a lot of agents involved, so you might be getting gypped for the price. So that's one thing to consider. Another thing is also to just walk around and maybe find a Vietnamese friend to help you look for a place. That's also a good idea. Most places will charge 1 month deposit, like this place. Some, like my old place, will charge a 2-month deposit, and the utilities are not normally included in the price for the month. So my place here is $250 a month, and that includes my water, and it also includes cleaning service and laundry. But it doesn't include electricity, which for me comes to about $30 or $40 a month. So I wind up spending about $280 a month. One thing that you'll have to think about is ordering a water service. I'm lucky enough that my landlady just sells me these from her house, but you can ring up a couple of the different suppliers and organize that for yourself. Most of them can speak English, most of the main places, so check that out, because obviously you can't drink the tap water. Bum, bum, bum. I hope you found this video useful, and if you did, I'd really appreciate it if you gave a thumbs up, and if you want to see more videos about travel in Southeast Asia, or the cost of living here, or different ways to make money, or even some music related tips, then subscribe to my channel. So I'll see you in the next video, where I'll discuss spending on things like going out, hobbies, sport, exercise, things of that nature. So if you want to see that when it comes out first, subscribe to my channel and you'll get an alert when new videos come out. So thank you for watching, and see you later.